Nothing like repeating yourself, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just done this video.
Yes, we have.
9 minutes.
It was a great
Radio
video.
was on.
Nice
Anyway.
background music in that one.
Was. Well, welcome back to Monday's video.
On Tuesday.
On a Tuesday. It's almost like you knew I was going to say that.
It is.
So, we apologise for not putting a video on yesterday, guys. We were meant to. We were going to finish it about 4 o'clock, but then got disturbed, didn't we?
Yeah.
By a customer who's also a friend. Stayed for about 3/4 of an hour, and I had to get home for the kids, so that was that out the window. So we'll be back to normal tomorrow. But what have we got going on here? Figaro stuff mainly, isn't it?
Yep.
So you've got it all laid out on a nice clean floor. Still got 2. You've just roughed one of the blocks out. Got 2 left to do. Just got to finish hone that. That one's done. Hone the other one.
Yep.
That's done. So then you've got to, I think you've got to put pistons on a few rods.
Yep, I've just been putting the rings on them just before lunch.
Nice. So there's some that you've done earlier. So this is how we send them back. New pistons on the rods, all blasted, etc., and checked. These pistons, I've shown you these before, but all this work here is from the Figaro shop.
Yep.
So Christian and his brother, they were the ones that sent the Cosworth in that went recently back to them. And they get these pistons made for themselves.
Do you know what? I weighed them the other day to see what they were like.
Any good?
They're really good.
Really?
Must be like, yeah, hell of a good production quality.
Yeah.
They're very, very close from standard.
That's good, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they even come with their own little emblem on the inside,
Yep.
look, cast in.
Oh, not quite focused, but
There we go.
sort of see a little lump there.
Very nice, yeah. So they're all pretty close then.
Yeah.
It's good, isn't it?
Yeah, they are.
So they sent us in this time. If you remember a few weeks ago, we had 3 engines worth.
Yep.
So they're turning these Figaros round like you
Yeah,
wouldn't believe.
they must
Christian
be.
actually sent me a video of him going round the whole site, and it's bloody big. Bigger than this estate.
Yeah.
He's got
Well, I
body
bet.
shops and all sorts, and there's more Figaros you can shake a stick at.
Should do a YouTube channel, really.
Be honest with you, I can't remember the last time I've seen a Figaro on the road.
No, I see them occasionally. My old maths teacher used to have one.
Really?
Yeah. That's probably the last one I've seen.
Is it a female?
Yes.
I was going to say.
How did you know?
Yeah. So this time they sent us 4 engines, mate, and we said that the deal was they're going to keep sending us these, but on the promise that they'll get them back fairly smartish. So it's quite good work, really. We get to know them.
Yeah.
We can just turn them around. It's a good sort of fill-in job, isn't it?
Yeah, they're quite nice to do as well, really.
Yeah.
They're not like, there's nothing too awkward about them.
No, that's it, yeah. So we put the Vapor Blaster to work, obviously done all the rocker assemblies there, cleaned all them up for them. The crank carriers, the cranks these 4 are all measured and polished, they're all perfect. As I say, we've got to bore the blocks, face them. So it's all standard stuff, really.
Yeah.
Quite a nice little job. These 2 Cosworths, it's been one of them weeks where we're a bit sort of slow progress,
Yeah.
really. This one
In-between
here
stuff.
was meant to have been done last week, really. All I've got to do is just dummy build the bottom end, and we've painted the block and that. Obviously bored it and put long studs in, put liners in this one.
Oh, right.
So that's a fairly funky bit of kit.
Full shebang.
Yeah. Done all my clearances, checked all them, all
Yep.
good. So we've got about 2 inches on the mains, 2 thou on the mains, and about 1.8 on the big ends, which is perfect,
Yeah,
really.
perfect.
So I put 2 pistons down the holes. I was waiting for you to balance the crank assembly, but which you've now done. Thank
Yep.
you very much.
It's all right.
2 more pistons left to put in, but I had a bit of a belly up with the old piston ring clamp.
Yeah.
Just went padoing. So now we're an engine build shop with no piston ring clamp.
Yeah.
Had to
Not
order
great.
another 2. Not worth getting a cheapie.
What ones do you go for?
The not cheapies.
Ah.
Well, slightly better.
Yeah.
There's all sorts of different types on the net, but the ones where we use the old key
Yeah.
seem to
Not
be
like
better, don't they?
not like a slide in, like them weird little silicon sleeves, whatever they are.
No, rubbish.
Well, you've got them for every size,
Well,
haven't
you
you?
have, that's the problem. Yeah. So I've ordered 2 of them, mate. I've treated ourselves.
Nice.
We've had one for quite a long time, but
Probably, yeah.
if there's 2 of us want to put a piston down a hole, we're a bit buggered.
Mm.
So yeah, waiting for them to come and they can get that finished. This one here, all checked, reported back to the guy that's restoring the car. He's going to get the owner to ring me just to sort of go through what we want, because obviously well, it's not obvious, but they've changed the plans with this car. So
Right.
turns out he's restoring the car, but a lot of the original bits that they'll need to make it a sort of original car are no longer available. Bit of a nightmare. So they're going to make this into a fast road, racy sort of, not track car, but sort of like that. If you know what I
Yeah.
mean, flock dash and all the
Yeah,
bits
yeah,
and
yeah.
bobs.
Bit sort of.
Yeah, a little bit like the
bit
E30-ish.
tricked up
but
rather than
more
going back
road
to
going.
original. Yeah.
Yeah, so that'd be quite cool. Digital dash and all that. The only thing is, it turns out he wants to run 400 plus horsepower. So
And that
I've advised
those
him,
3 numbers there are not ideal for that.
especially the N1.
Mm.
Decent 205 block, but we all know that 205, the more power you run, the more chance you are of cracking the top of it, because we can't long stud these.
Yeah.
The casting is too thin at the base of the block, so
Right. So it just tries to pull the threads out when you got.
there
Big
just
boost
isn't the
and-
meat
yeah.
to put the threads
Well, I
in.
mean,
But yeah,
on
on
the
the
block
standard
face.
threads, what they do is over time they pull up and up and up, and then eventually they just crack into the water jacket. Game over.
It's a shame, really, isn't it? Because there's a lot of these 205s kicking about.
Yeah, that's it. So when you long stud them, you do away with that top thread. You run an O-ring seal in the top there,
Yeah.
17 mil, and
Then
then
you
you
can
put a
see it
thread
there.
down in the base of
Yeah.
the block.
Very smart.
So we are on the hunt for a 200 block. That is if he wants to go ahead for that. So obviously the only
Probably
trouble
wise.
is now you're looking at a couple of grand for a decent 200, aren't you?
But you'd be kicking yourself if you've sort of gone, we'll run 400 anyway, just had the engine built and then.
It could go pop tomorrow. It could
Yeah,
be okay
exactly.
forever. You
Well,
don't
yeah.
know. But it's probably not the gamble you want to take when you're spending umpteen
No.
thousand on the car and the motor. So
No, you don't really want
no.
to. New blinds, mate?
New blinds. Step into my orifice.
It's looking lovely in here now.
What do you think? Have they been in here since I've had the rubber plants?
I think so. I think there's some plants.
It's nice, isn't it?
Yeah, it's lovely.
Cosy. We had the old blinds up, gone a bit creamy, a little
Yeah.
bit oily on the bottom. So I've been to Argos today and bought some nice new white blinds.
Lovely.
Nice. Reception room. John's favourite place. Looking very
John's
professional.
chair.
John's chair there. So yeah, very nice and
Looking a lot
comfortable.
better.
Nice to do paperwork in. It's a
Yeah, I
pleasure.
bet. Yeah.
Got Steve back on Friday to start in the
Sort of the hallway.
hallway.
Yeah.
Start painting all that, and then
Yeah.
he's going to do the head area. We've got to clean everything off the walls. Going to give it a nice lick of white.
And was he on about putting some perspex up at the bottom?
Bit of clear perspex maybe.
Like a foot from the bench height, basically, just to
Yeah.
stop splashback.
Splashback. Easy wipeable.
Easy wipe.
Nice. So yeah, we're getting there, mate. It's tidying it up gradually, aren't we?
Yeah.
Quite happy with it.
Yeah,
In between the work.
exactly.
I've been upsetting people again, mate.
Have you? Oh no.
We've had a bit of a spell. This is the thumbnail and title, by the way. Had a little bit of a spell of, I would say, people trying to take the piss a little bit.
Really?
So, since I've come back after Christmas, I've tried to,
What, 6 months ago?
6 months ago, I've tried to come in with a different approach this year.
Yeah.
Last year, I was getting myself into a tiz when
You was, yeah.
And I've got a lot of people in the comments saying you need to get everything in writing in email, stick to the rules, and don't sort
Don't
of
deviate, yeah.
from the rules too much. It's difficult to get used to because obviously you want to build a bit of a relationship with customers and what have you. But what I'm finding now, and it's probably that I'm noticing it more now, is lately I've had 2 or 3 people, customers that we've done work for, not necessarily built the engines, mind, just done machining and what have you.
Oh, right.
thinking or whether they're convinced themselves or whether they are just trying it on, that we are responsible and got to warrant the whole engine because we've done something on it. So it's a difficult one, isn't it? I've had, as I say, one of them I've had them insisting that it's my issue. If something potentially has gone, not even know if there's anything wrong with the engine or any work we've done. They think we should be, at the very least, sort of jointly responsible as them and go out of our way, spend time and maybe money sorting out a problem, which really, from a warranty point of view, is nothing to do with us.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the new learning process for me is dealing with that side of it, wording it correctly, being diplomatic.
Yeah.
Worst are locals, going to be honest.
Well,
Worst are locals. And I think the reason for that is because you and I have changed this business quite a lot in the last couple of years, haven't
They're
we?
used to, your friendly neighbourhood machine shop.
Yeah, I've got this issue, but if you could just come down and spend a whole day trying to sort it out for nothing, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Don't do that here now, do we?
No.
So I've got to sort of subtly put down that this is what we charge for us to help you, and we need to, if we're it's okay if it does turn out that it's a problem of ours.
So this is more in the circumstance of trying to work out if it's something we've done or...
Yeah, you have to sort of get it right in the right order. It's the same as getting an engine back that we have built.
Yeah.
If there's a potential problem and it's without it being proved yet what the problem is, whether it's us or something else, we need to get it worded correctly to them, subtly, but to the point that there are costs involved.
Well,
and potentially there are going to be huge costs involved if it's nothing to do with us. What they want is for us to say, it's all right, mate, just leave it there, innit? It's not going to happen.
It's all,
it's business at the end of the day, isn't it?
Yeah. The whole point of the warranty is that if if we look at it and find that it's nothing to do with us, then we've just done work for you. Like, that's how that is, isn't it, really?
Exactly.
It's not like a freebie that comes with the engine build, unless it is a problem that we've caused. So.
Yeah, you're just finding it more and more now. People are just pushing them boundaries and trying to get whatever they can out of you. But it's drawing the line from sort of personal and to business, isn't it?
It doesn't mean you can't be reasonable about things.
Oh, yeah.
Like, obviously, to an extent, you help people out. But if you've had to strip an entire engine, or do this or do that, or spend a day somewhere doing something, then and it isn't. There needs to be
some sort of contract as the charges are going to apply, innit?
Exactly.
Really. So that's the bit now that I'm learning and coming across. I think it's because I'm more aware now, because since Christmas I've been to the point, and it's been a lot less stressful, isn't it?
Yeah.
Really, I think. Well,
I've noticed that you don't seem to have problems as such that
you soon realise that
worry you.
Everyone's your mate here.
Yeah.
But really, it's a business, isn't it? Got you to pay at the end of the day, mate, and that is big money.
Getting expensive now.
But yeah, so put down in the comments, guys, if you have any advice for me there on how I should be dealing with these people. We have not so great news on the Perkins.
No.
All doable, but pretty much everything's scrap.
Yeah.
It's
a bit more damage than we maybe expected, isn't there?
Well, it is. It's probably the worst I've ever seen a Perkins.
Yeah.
I mean, they tend to overheat and blow the gasket to the point where the block face is warped, etc. And even if it wipes a piston. But this one's had a right old to do. So
got that.
He's had the injectors serviced, and the report come back from the injectors that they were all absolutely knackered.
Right.
They were just puffing out a general mist,
dribbling out
I think.
some diesel.
Yeah, so
Nice.
Going by the symptoms of this engine, first of all, we've got two knocked out big ends, which you can clearly see the rods are absolutely mullered.
Yep.
The crank's knackered, not going to be able to grind that, and it's probably bent to buggery anyway because of that. There's something come adrift in the top of one of the pistons. You see the crown of the piston there is not looking too tremendous.
See something stuck in the piston.
Yeah, but looking at the head, the valves have buried themselves down the port.
So it isn't just bottom end stuff, even the head's
it's got very hot, whether it's down to a faulty injector. We all know that injectors can cause excess load on the diesels on the big ends, and that's what can cause it. So it's not necessarily an oil issue, but potentially injector issue has made it all fail. There was a crack in the front cover, the aluminium front cover. He's managed to find one of those for 30 quid.
That's not bad.
No. He's got 2 new rods coming for 30 quid each. Ideal.
Not too bad.
So we're going to go ahead and buy an whole service kit, pistons.
So he's going to go ahead with it, is he?
He's going to go ahead with it.
What about cylinder head?
Cylinder head, we're going to have to put inserts in, bring them valves back. The only thing we can't find at the moment is a crankshaft. If there's any people watching that have got one of these Perkins crankshafts,
I think it's
give us a bell and we'll have it off you.
It's a Massey 595, isn't it?
Is that what it is? You know your tractors, don't you?
Wow.
Yeah. So that's what we're waiting for at the moment, mate.
Bit of a shame.
A little bit of a shame.
Normally, they're not so catastrophic, are they? These Perkins, they're normally quite good, but yeah.
This morning you've been busy doing the E30 stuff.
Yeah.
So we've had bits and bobs lying about from underneath the car, all over the shop, tripping over them, really annoying me for weeks.
Yeah.
So Ryan, the guy that's painting the car, said in the next 2 weeks, get those parts blasted. I'll get them all painted. We can get all the bushes in, all ready to go. So when the car is actually painted, fingers crossed in a couple of months, we can build it up at Ryan's underneath, get it wheeling and bring it back on a trailer nice and safe.
You don't want to go scratching the underside or... Well,
definitely.
We know what it was like when we took it up there. It was a bit sketchy, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
And
when it's all painted underneath, you ain't going to
you don't want to put it on a pallet, no.
So that's the idea. So you've stripped all the bits.
Yeah.
They're in the van.
Yeah.
We'll pop out there in a second, have a quick look at them. And yeah, got all the bushes out. Fairly straightforward stuff, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Ain't a lot to them old 80s cars, really.
There's not loads of arms and stuff all over the place. It's not too bad.
So Tom Upton is the one that's getting them blasted.
Yeah.
Now Tom gets all his bits blasted and powder coated at this place.
Right.
He's got his arms done off his Honda Civic track car, which he's doing, and they look great in powder coat. Although Ryan has advised me strongly not to go for the powder coat on all the stuff underneath, and he'll paint it. So if any of you guys out there have had any experience with either paint or powder coat on the undercarriage stuff.
Is the problem with powder coating, it chips off, doesn't it? It goes a bit hard. And
it's very hard. So
and hard to get off in general when you want to get it off. In
theory, it's hard wearing, more resilient to chip in and what have you. But like Ryan said, if it corrodes underneath and comes off, there's nothing else you can do about it but completely strip it all back and get it re-powder coated. But and he said he's seen quite a few times. Very rarely is it powder coated properly, and is it prepped properly. So if we paint it, we know then we can.
At least it's a lot easier to
we
redo if you have to.
It. And as I say, I had all my Escort Cosworth stuff done in paint underneath. No problem. Looked great. So.
Well, depends what you're using it for, really. If you're sort of driving it about every day and thrashing it around, then you might go for the powder coat, but you're not going to be like, it's not going to be your everyday car.
Not really. We're not going to go rallying in the bloody thing.
So paint's going to hold up, I reckon.
Yeah. So we'll see what the comments say. Take their advice, but at the moment I'm aiming more towards getting it all painted. These are all the old bits off the car. Obviously we've gone 5-stud, haven't we now? So we've got all the other arms and that off the 5-stud.
Yep.
The E36. New front arm. We ain't going to bother with the front arms. We can get them. We need to get that bush off. Just notice that.
Oh yeah.
New arms ain't worth pissing about with the old ones.
No,
is it?
What was it? 100 quid for a pair, and you get some. Yeah, you get track rods as well and drop links and all sorts.
So we will we'll probably put that in a nice safe place. Might be able to do something with that eventually. So that's it, mate. It's just a waiting game now.
Yeah.
Quite excited. I'll put a couple of pictures up on here of the car so far. Ryan's been sending me pictures every week. He's now down to bare metal on the exterior. Done all the little bits and bobs. Looking good, mate. Get in there.
Progressing.
Making sure that the car looks mint when it's all painted.
What did you say to me about this earlier, mate?
I'm gaining a little bit of enthusiasm back on that.
Really?
Yeah.
Going to be
It's
seeing it
been a
back on
bit
the
of a-
road fairly soon?
I did say to you earlier, I think in the next few days I'm probably going to get all this out of the way, get that down to Tom, let's get it sorted.
Let's get it fixed.
Let's get a couple of track days done before the summer's over, innit?
Well, the thing is, once it's fixed, we still haven't really done a proper shakedown.
Haven't done anything
so,
in it, have
no,
we?
so we almost got to do another shakedown after it's fixed to make sure nothing
Yeah.
else is wrong.
I know, yeah.
So
yeah, we
only
sort
got a
of,
few laps.
we did 2 or 3 laps, didn't we? But it sort of all ran all right, and it didn't seem to leak, which is
no,
very
yeah, I
decent.
think the
But we need to
engine's
do a
all right,
good old-
but there's new fuel lines and stuff, isn't there? So,
yeah.
and fuel pump.
So let's get that down to Tom, mate. I just lost enthusiasm with it. You know what it's like. It was
Don't blame
it was
you.
a bit of a project that sort of ended up escalating,
Yes.
and it was all right. It would have been all right if everything was fine, but when that happened, I just stuck it on the ramp. Can't be bothered. I've got enough going on, and then
Yeah.
obviously like the E30 all came about, so getting excited with that really. But
Yeah.
let's get the old girl sorted, innit?
I
We
think
know what
so.
we're going to do with the prop, and we are pretty convinced that that's going to sort it,
Should do, shouldn't it?
hopefully. So we know, at least we know of a potential problem. The prop being the wrong way round, basically.
Wrong way and steep angles, isn't it?
Yes. Thank you very much for watching. Back on form tomorrow, aren't we?
Yeah.
Wednesday's video
Be on
on a
it.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Have a good evening.